Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crime on the Record. My name is Jason. She obviously is Candace. And we have a couple of missing persons cases or missing person cases. Is it missing persons cases or is it missing person case?
Persons, I would think.
Okay, good. Because that's what I wrote down. So, and that's what's up on the screen. So I'm really glad that you said that. I don't know if either one of us are right, but
I mean, they
here we
are
are.
missing persons. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
okay.
So we're doing a couple of cases because there's not a whole lot on either one of them, but they still deserve attention and
Yeah.
to talk about it. The first one is Lasheky Hill out of Racine, Wisconsin, and this is one that Dom, who is a member of our channel and every other social media thing we have, he wanted us to talk about this one because there's not, like I said, there's not a lot on it, and there's not a lot of coverage on it. And I mean, I'm not sure why, but we'll go through this one first, and then I'll tell you another one that has even less information on it. It's these are two cases where it's just like they were living their lives and then gone. And there's nothing. It's just these are ones that really blow my mind. I just don't understand how people just disappear.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But Lasheky Hill, like I said, she went missing from Racine, Wisconsin in March of this year. So it's only been, what, 6-7 months. And she was last seen in her mom's neighborhood. I know this doesn't mean anything to you, but it may be to somebody who's listening, near Douglas Avenue and Hubbard Street. Like I said, that's the neighborhood where her mom, Georgia Hill, lives. And on the night of March 26th, which was the day before her birthday, she was over at her mom's house, just hanging out with her, and she had her 12-year-old son with her. They were just hanging out, talking to each other in the living room. They had dinner together, and then Lasheky made a plate for herself to go because I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you, but other people, if I ate my mom's house, I'm going to eat again, just not at my mom's house because I'm going to take some with me. Uh,
It's
so
so
that,
sad to think though, because like it's just a normal night eating dinner.
yeah, yeah.
Like you don't expect anything to go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's a normal night eating dinner together. She's getting ready to go out on her birthday, to celebrate her birthday. Like she's done so many other times. So, like I said, there's nothing different about today other than what happened.
Yeah.
Um, but she got her food and she left, and like I said, that's the last time her mom would ever see her or talk to her. Um, the morning of the 27th, so obviously the day of her birthday, her mom went to Facebook because she always posts a message out there on Facebook because you know how our families are. I mean,
Yeah.
ours are the same way. It's always like, hey, let's put it out there on Facebook because, we're old, but they're older. So they're real big on Facebook. So just like everybody else, she went out there to say happy birthday and tell everybody how much she loved her daughter. And I mean, I went on to the Facebook pages and seen, and I mean, it's not like, happy birthday, baby girl. No, it's like, it's a dissertation about how much she
Oh.
loves her kid and, just all the things that she was saying about her. And what's weird though, is her daughter would normally comment back and, not the little thumbs up or thanks or whatever. Like she would actually, it's like they were having a conversation on Facebook about her birthday and everything else. So
Yeah.
there was nothing out there. There was no responses, which was very weird, because she always talks on social media, and she also posts a ton of pictures. So Georgia Hill, her mom, was saying that you would know like what her night was. You would know like where she was going, what she was wearing. You'd see the food that they were having, the drinks. That like it's almost like you were there,
Yeah.
according to her.
And she was planning to go out for her birthday, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, in some of the comments and quotes that I have on here, like one of them, her mom would say, she would show you partying, she would show how she dressed, she would show you something, and her page was not moving. So she's kind of talking about how it was just radio silence. There's nothing going
Yeah.
on. And when she saw that, she filed a missing persons report immediately because obviously, something's going on because this is completely out of character for Lasheky.
Yeah, I mean, you know your kids, you know their
Yeah.
habits and how they do things, and if it's not right, you're like, "Oh, no, not my kid."
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the police, they started the investigation almost immediately. And even though, she's older, so she's not a minor, but police took it seriously, which is nice to hear because there's so many times they're like, she's allowed to be missing. I've never understood that response. I guess maybe in bigger cities, people do leave for a couple of days and come back, but
But,
I don't know.
the craziest thing too is how they say the first 48 hours is the most important, yet we're gonna
Yeah,
wait until they've been gone all this time before we
right.
actually do anything.
Yeah,
What the hell
yeah.
sense does that make?
It doesn't. It's like, well, just tell us the first 48 are important, but it's the second 48 that we're talking about. After we told you to go home for a couple of days,
Yeah.
now those 48 are. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy.
I was listening
But
to, a podcast the other night, and I can't remember, I think it was True Crime Garage, but I liked what that guy was saying. It was either that or true crime all the time, but they were talking about how they should change it from any kind of age limit to, like, what were the circumstances, and I agree with that. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's an adult. If these are weird circumstances, somebody needs
mhm,
to check into this.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, and that's what it comes down to. And I mean, if you go into a police department and you say this is normal, and this is what's going on, and then there's
Mhm.
like you can tell there's something up. Just like Georgia should be able to go into the police department and say, "Hey, here's the past 3 4 years of Facebook posts or whatever on her birthday. Here's what's happened today. Nothing, nothing has happened. So that's an issue. You'd be able
Yeah,
to see that that's definitely something that's going on." But in this case, they did start the investigation almost immediately. And
good.
over the next several months, the investigation included, and I made sure to write this down so I had everything, but they followed up on every lead that they had. They interviewed dozens of people. They served several search warrants, though nothing was said as to what came out of those search warrants, if anything. They searched just about every abandoned building they could find in Racine. They
Wow.
searched city parks, wooded areas, waterways. They conducted searches on foot, ATVs, canines were used. Like
Dang.
it was a legit, we're going to look for her, not a, hey, we'll send a couple of people out to, look in a couple of buildings. Like they legit searched for her over months and months.
Yeah.
Um, they worked with federal and state law enforcement agencies. They put her into the NCIC, the National Crime Information Center. They put her in the Black and Missing Foundation database, which is a nonprofit that focuses on what they say on their website is bringing awareness and bringing home missing people of color. So specifically in that database, the problem is there was nothing. They could find
Gosh.
nothing. Like not even that there was evidence that she went missing. Like they didn't find any of her clothes. They didn't find her on any kind of surveillance video that would lead them to believe that she was taken. Her phone was never found. Like nothing.
Wow.
It's literally like she walked out of her mom's door and then was gone.
So
Um,
another, like, alien abduction, it seems. I mean,
yeah,
obviously not, but, like,
yeah, obviously
it
not. But I
seems
mean,
like that.
like what happened? Because there's nobody that's come forward to say that they saw anything. There's nobody that came forward to say they did or didn't go out with her that night. Like there's nothing. There's just nothing.
Wow.
It's wild to me. Um, and her mom doing what I mean, I know we would do this. She's been in the media as much as possible. And
Yeah.
she said that she's been saying things like, I'm not giving up on her. If anybody out here knows something, speak. And I mean, and you could just hear like in her voice when she said that, she said, I'm tired of begging y'all. Please, please help me.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
heartbreaking
Bless her
because
heart.
I mean, she's just doing everything she can to try and find her. And I mean, it's not like the cops aren't doing anything. It's just she
Yeah.
is absolutely nowhere. Um,
Oh my goodness.
and so the only thing they have is just her mom talking about her, talking about how she's outgoing and she's friendly. She's just friendly with everybody. Lasheky has two sons. One's 27 and one's 12. She's also a grandmother to two children. So I
Oh,
mean, there's a lot. And
yeah.
and when Georgia talks about her, she's not. She understands. She doesn't believe that her daughter is alive. So she uses words in the past tense, like she was a grandma, and in that she even did an episode with Dateline, and she just wants her daughter to come home. And she understands that it will be to bury her daughter. But she's, I don't want to say okay with that, but she understands the circumstances that she's kind of in right now. Um,
Yeah.
she went on to say that my daughter is not alive. She would never stayed away from her kids this long, which, obviously I believe that. Um, so the city of Racine, it's not exactly the safest place that you could ever live. And the
Oh,
area, in the area where her mom lives, it's not very safe either. I mean, it's one of the worst areas inside of Racine, but
oh
I don't know if
gosh.
that really means anything in this case or not. But they did talk to Georgia about the city, and she said it's a small kind of city. And then she says it's peaceful. And then she kind of hesitates. She's like, well, it was very peaceful, but it got violent everywhere.
So probably one of those places that you move to and it's great and you own your home and you don't want to
Mhm.
move and then the neighborhood gets a little bad and you're like, I'm not
Yep.
leaving.
Yeah. And you're in a situation where you can't leave. Because I mean, if
Yeah.
you bought a house 20 years ago
Oh
and
gosh,
it
yeah.
was in a great neighborhood at the time, and then it just starts getting worse, not everybody is in a position where they can just up and move. I mean,
Yeah.
it's expensive to move. And especially now with interest rates where they are, I mean, I'm not moving. Even if something was going on, I'd be like, no, I can't pay 75%
Right.
interest on my house. I mean,
Yeah.
it's out of control. And Georgia also, though, she's talking in several interviews, she believes that she actually knows the person who is
Oh
involved with her daughter's
wow.
disappearance. And I mean, she went on to say that she said he ate from my table, he ate from my daughter's table.
Oh
He's been
goodness.
around. So I mean, and that's what makes it worse. Like she thinks she knows who may have been involved, but she can't pinpoint a person. She just believes it was somebody. It wasn't a stranger. Like it
Oh,
was
okay.
somebody
So
that
not like a
knew.
particular person.
Right, right. Yeah. She
Gotcha.
doesn't believe it was a stranger. It was somebody that's been around Georgia and been around Lasheky and probably around the kids.
I wonder why she
So
thinks that though.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It didn't go in. She didn't say as to why. She just believes that this wasn't like a stranger abduction or anything like that. She believes that it was somebody she knew.
Yeah.
Um, but legit, that's it. Like
Oh my
that's
gosh.
all on this case. Like there's so, and I tried to look and I did a lot of research, and this is all I found. Basically, she was at her mom's house. She left her mom's house. She was supposed to be going out that night. No evidence that she went out that night, and there's no
Jeez.
evidence that she like where she went after she left her mom's house. So, mom's house, through her door, gone. I
Yeah, I
mean,
tried to look on Web Sleuths, and there was like one page, like the first page where kind of like every story gets started. And I mean, every story they put on there has a page because it's explaining the
yeah.
circumstances under which they went missing. And then, it's usually got several pages after that talking about things that have happened since. No, there's like 4 posts.
Yeah, and for there not to be a
Crazy.
whole lot on web sleuths really tells you there's not a whole lot out there at all.
Yeah.
So, I
Or
mean,
Reddit.
you know,
I didn't see
yeah,
anything for Reddit come up.
yeah. I mean, there's a few things where people are talking about crazy conspiracy theories, but even that, there's usually a lot more to it. Even
Yeah.
if it's off the wall stuff, there's nothing out there. So, I mean, it's just wild to me, and it's not like police haven't done anything because they've been out there. They did all this stuff. They've had state and federal, law enforcement with them, and it's just nothing. So I
Gosh.
don't know. I mean, the police department did say recently too that they said their investigation isn't over, and they said that they're not going to stop until they bring her home. But I don't know what kind of leads they are going on. There is a $2,200 reward being offered, and like when I watch some stuff and I hear some stuff and they talk about a reward being $2,200, and you see people comment about, oh, that's not that much. It's like, bitch, not everybody's got thousands of dollars that
Yeah.
they put out there. $2,200 is a lot of money to a lot of people.
Yeah,
It
and
just
if you
drives
feel
me
like it's
crazy,
not that much, instead of being an asshole about it, why don't you offer to put up some of your own money?
right? Yeah,
I
I bet
mean,
you I bet you people that are like that's not a lot. They don't have $2,200 either.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's just that stuff
yeah,
drives me
because the
crazy.
same people that say, "Oh, that's hardly any money," if you were like, "Well, match it." I don't have that kind of money.
Right? Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it wasn't
yeah,
much, dude. Come
yeah.
on.
I got 75 cents. Can I Venmo that to you? It's like,
Right.
yeah. Um,
Gosh.
the information about Lashiki is she's 5'1", 168 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing white pants and carrying a black purse with rhinestones. And she may have been wearing a blonde wig the night she disappeared. And like that's
Wow.
all the information. And you know, you chicks have a lot of stuff going on that makes me happy that I'm a guy. But you guys can throw on a wig and completely change who you are. And
That's true.
back in the day, I used to think that was weird. Now I'm like, that's awesome that you can just accessorize your hair, So, but people should be aware if they know what she looks like. She may be, she may have
Yeah.
been wearing a blonde wig, which can look a lot different. But if you have any information, they're asking you to contact Detective Andrew Simon at 262-635-7770, or you can call the Racine County non-emergency line 262-886-2300. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 262-636-9330. But basically, if you know something, you can call anything from 911 in that area to those 3 numbers that I gave you. I mean, if you have information, they're going to get it to the right spot. I'm saying. So,
it does make you think, though, that it most likely is somebody she knows, because if it's just like a random killing, then why take the body anywhere? Like, they're not going to connect that body to you,
right.
Yeah.
So
to have such little to go on, it means somebody hid her somewhere. And why hide her if she's not going to trace back to you? So that kind of makes you think it was somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's getting more, like, it's going to become a lot more difficult to find people as winter sets in. Because, I mean, there's just going to be, what Wisconsin looks like at Christmas time.
Oh my
We've
gosh.
been up there. It's just,
yeah.
it's just cold and white. I mean, that's all it is.
Freezing.
So when people do go missing in the summertime in those areas, it's like a rush to try and beat the winter to find them, because once that sets in, you've got months before you can actually start searching again. But I'm with you. Like, if it was somebody that she didn't know, would they have taken the time to hide her to make sure that you never found her?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's everything for that one. And like I said, the next one, there's even less on hers.
Oh, gosh. How is that possible?
I ask myself that every single time I read one of these, whether there's a lot on them or not. I don't understand how people just disappear and we never figure out what happened to them. But this is a case out of Trenton, Nebraska. It's Sunny Sramek. She was 18 at the time of her disappearance. She's 22 now. She was last seen on April 20th of 2019. And I mean, you as a parent, you are trying to teach your children, and in some ways you're just trying to keep them alive. Like there's and then you obviously, when they turn 18, you're not like, oh, I'm done, but you kind of feel like, okay, we've gotten to the next chapter of life. What's going to happen from here? And like Sunny's parents, that's it, 18, and then wondering.
Yeah, because you work so hard to make sure that your kids are fully functioning adults so they can go out and have this fabulous life, and they raise her to be a functioning adult, and then nothing. That's horrible.
It really is. And I don't, and just like everything else, I don't like the wondering of where your kid is and what happened. I can't imagine what kind of toll that takes on a family.
No.
Just every day not knowing, every day going to sleep, where's my daughter?
Yeah.
What happened to her?
Yeah. Because we know most likely they're deceased, but what about all these times that you find people that have been missing for years or months? And, that's got to be hard on families too, because even if you get them back, that's not the person that you lost.
No, the trauma changes everyone. But her last name is Sramek. It's Sramek, in case anybody's wondering.
I would have never figured that out.
Yeah, like when I saw her last name, I made sure to listen to some of the news outlets when they were talking about her, because the worst thing to do is mispronounce somebody's name. I can't stand that, especially when you're talking about people that are missing. She was described as kind, funny, artistic, and a lover of animals. I know you can get behind.
I love her already.
Animal Farm, right? Yeah. And like I said, she was last seen on April 20th of 2019, and she was headed with a male. Not sure who. There's no name or anything. Just say she was heading to Omaha on a trip with some guy. Now Omaha's like 4.5 hours away from Trenton, Nebraska. I know that you don't have any idea what that is, but it's just
No.
it's 4.5 hours to the right if you're looking at a map. And
Okay.
she left with some random guy, and she hasn't been heard or seen from since. And
Gosh.
her mom called the next day, so on the 21st of April, to report her missing. And police started the search, but there wasn't a lot to go on with this case either.
No.
Her parents, we talk about what it's like to have a missing daughter, and her parents, in some of the interviews that they've done, her dad was saying maybe she's out there. It's just so painful being helpless, which, I mean, you do. There's no way that it doesn't enter your mind all day, every day, as to where your daughter is. And her mom, Paula Johnson, she said it's all consuming. I mean, your mind is always there when you lay down and when you wake up. I mean, I barely leave my bedroom.
Oh my goodness. Bless her heart.
And I mean, she went on to say, just keeping her story and her face out there continually so nobody forgets about her. She's still missing and there's been no justice. Something has to come out of this. And that's what I'm talking. Like, I don't know how people do this. I just don't know.
I don't know how people watch family. Like, you hurt their child and you just watch them suffer. I mean, I understand if you're the kind of person who would unalive somebody that you don't really care about people, and you're not trying to get caught, but like you could send something anonymous. You could leave the body somewhere. Like, why don't you just let people suffer?
Yeah. And then at the same time, people that can do this to other people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care what they do. I'm sure a lot of people enjoy what they do to the families after they do this.
Oh, well, that is true. That is true.
So they set up a GoFundMe page to try and, just to cover expenses for looking for her and all that. And they also did that so they could offer a reward, which is they've offered a reward of $10,000 for any information leading to the whereabouts of Sunny or arrest of anyone that's been responsible for her missing. And this actually caused some guy, they don't know who, they don't have his name, but some guy contacted the family to tell them that she or him and Sunny went to Prairie Flower Casino in Carter Lake, Iowa. Now, Carter Lake, Iowa is just barely over the border of Nebraska and Iowa, so it's not that far away. He said that they went to the casino and he went inside. He didn't say what he went inside for, but I mean, she's 18, so obviously she's not allowed to go into the casino. And I don't know why you would just take some random girl, or even just a friend that you know, and go to the casino and go inside and gamble. I don't know if that's what he did, or if he went inside because he worked there and he was grabbing his paycheck. I don't know why he went in.
Well, I did see an updated thing. It does have his name.
Oh, does it?
Cliff Coates. And it says that he called Sunny's mother between 9 and midnight. So that's a big drastic difference. But saying that because she was only 18, she couldn't go in. So she had to wait in the truck. So I'm guessing because he was going to gamble.
Maybe. But
that's ridiculous, though. That's like, come up with a better story, dude.
Right. Yeah. Because he said he went in and when he came out, she was gone. And that's all he knows. Sure. Right. Like you just went in and if you don't know anything, why bother to say anything? I think he potentially may have had something to do with it. And this is his way of just being like, it wasn't me. Or maybe he didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know.
Well, they said too that he changed his story later on. And the second story was that he stopped for gas and went in to pay and came out and she was gone. That's even more ludicrous. Like in the 2 minutes it took you to pay for gas, she disappeared.
Yeah. And I understand that sometimes you may have slight changes to your story because you may not be remembering it quite the right way. But I mean, if you went into a casino and came out and she's gone, and then your story changes, I went into a gas station, came out, she's gone.
Right.
You don't mess that up. No. Like, what you did one way or the other. Regardless, though, whether it was the gas station or casino, I don't even know if it's true, but that's what he says. He said he went into, I guess, some establishment, and when he came out, she was gone.
Jeez.
And she was last seen in a 2004 white Ford Explorer with the Iowa license plate of HGJ341. But, like, I don't know, did she get picked up from Trenton and went to Omaha and just across there to the casino in Iowa. It just seems really weird that somebody would maybe drive like 4.5 hours from Iowa to come pick her up and then drive back. So that's kind of leaves me wondering as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing too is because you don't really know what kind of relationship they had. Like,
right?
What do we know? Like, why she knows this guy, how she met the guy, nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I didn't even know his name until you just told me.
Well, he has a criminal record, a long criminal record, and one of them is false imprisonment. So, kind of makes you wonder if he's kept somebody. I mean, obviously, he has false imprisonment. I mean, but that could be like domestic violence where he wouldn't let his, girlfriend or somebody leave the house. But it does make you wonder: has he kidnapped somebody before that got away?
Yeah,
I mean,
and I really think they need to kind of. Okay, if false imprisonment is the overall charge, like let's have like what's subcharge 1? Like what are the details of this false imprisonment? Like you said, was he just standing in front of a doorway and he wouldn't let her leave, or did he snatch somebody and throw her in the trunk of his car and drive away? I mean, those are two.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong; they're both terrible. They're both crimes. You shouldn't do either one.
Yeah,
but
but it does kind of show his character and the fact that he has a lot of drug charges and carrying concealed weapon, possession of a deadly weapon. So, I mean, he probably most likely had some kind of gun or something on him.
So, just a stand-up dude, huh?
Oh, yeah, all the way around. It makes you wonder if they met online or something since he was so far away. And that makes me think trafficking. Like, got her to go with him somewhere and trafficked her. Just sold her to somebody, maybe.
I mean, potentially. I mean, which I don't understand how people sell other people.
Right.
Whether it's biblical times all the way up until 2023. I just don't understand how somebody is just, hey, I'll sell that person.
Yeah, like, how do you feel like you have the right to own a person, a whole ass person? You're going to own them. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It really is. Yeah. Oh. But I mean, it's well within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Sadly.
Her description, she's a white female, 5'7", about 180 pounds. She has brown hair, blue eyes. And then she has let me make sure I read this correctly. She has a tattoo on her left shoulder of a feather with the letters fly. She also has a tattoo on her right ankle of a tribal sun in red ink. She has multiple scars on her body to include a rectangular scar on the back of her right shoulder, a small square-shaped scar in the middle of her upper forehead, scarring on one of her ankles and shin from a bike pedal. I got some of those. I know exactly what that's like. Man, your foot slips off a pedal and you got a scar forever. So she's got one of those. Scars from chicken pox on her face, a scar on her left hand at the bottom of her thumb and forefinger, and cuts on her arm. So,
good Lord.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure that I read all that so I didn't miss anything, because I mean that's a lot of identifiable features and things that you could say, okay, and it's sad, but it could help identify if they found her. I mean, it has been 4 years, so if she was, dumped somewhere, obviously you're not going to see that stuff anymore. But if for some reason she is alive, like you're saying, maybe she got trafficked or whatever, that's all the physical descriptions of her. She was last seen in denim shorts and a black tank top, and she had jeans and a hoodie with her. People are asked with any information, to call the FBI Omaha division at 402-493-8688, because it's still an open and active investigation. Obviously, there's just not a lot to go on. I mean, either one of these cases, there's just not a whole lot to go on.
So sad. It is so sad.
It really, really is. I mean, I don't know of any other theories as to what may have happened. Like, I mean, with Lasheky, if her mom is positive that it, had something, it was somebody that knew her, then there could be multiple reasons as to why something happened.
Yeah.
Whether she was in an abusive relationship. Her mom didn't say anything about that, but if she was, or if she got into an argument with somebody, I mean, the possibilities are damn near endless with hers.
Yeah.
And then Sunny, I mean, she drove away with some guy.
I mean, I feel like we know what happened to her. Not the details, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if he didn't have anything to do with it, but there's no
Yeah.
evidence that anyone had anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
In either one of these cases. It's just
and that's the thing. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And because what would you even charge him with? You don't know if he sold her, killed her. Like, I mean, so even if you think he did it, what'd he do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what to charge him with.
You know, and sometimes when I think about these things, I maybe give criminals a little bit too much credit, because my thing is, it's like, what if he did traffic her and he was driving her to the casino or the gas station, and the whole guise was, I went inside and, you know, when I came back, she was gone. Maybe that's this alibi that somebody else snatched her, but he was still, you know, involved. I know that's giving a lot of credit to somebody that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
I get that, but that's how my mind works. You know, but I just, I don't know. And these cases aren't like the sexy cases that people talk about, you know, but they deserve just as much attention as anything else that's out there. I mean, these are it's a mother, a grandmother, daughters, brothers or sisters. What I mean, these are people. They deserve the same amount of coverage and searching. There's nothing. There's
I mean, it's all the more reason to do the case, because you know a lot of them that are so in the media that there's going to be tons of podcasters and people on YouTube doing, you know, shows on it. So it is important for these people who don't have a lot of coverage to get coverage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
because somebody knows something.
And
and both of these cases are just a matter of somebody has to talk, because if nobody does, these aren't ever going to be solved, because there's no evidence. There's nothing police can go off of unless somebody talks. And it's, I don't know. I don't know. These things just blow my mind, like always.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's everything for Lasheky Hill and for Sunny Sramek. So if you know of anything, if you the smallest of information, make sure you contact the law enforcement agency, depending on who they are. Lasheky's out of Racine, Wisconsin. Sunny Sramek she went missing from Trenton, Nebraska, supposed to be going to Omaha, but potentially just a little bit across in the Grand Prairie Casino in Iowa. So if you know anything, make sure you contact somebody.
Yes.
That's everything for this episode. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel or subscribe to the podcast, depending on how you're listening to it. We've got some extra content. If you want to check that out, it's on patreon.com/crimeontherecord. Some behind the scenes stuff, some thoughts and theories on some other cases. And then we also review true crime documentaries. Some of them are serious, some of them are not. So it's a little serious and comedic where it's supposed to be. We don't make fun of victims.
Oh, no.
Most of the time. There is one.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Abducted in Plain Sight. It's a documentary off of Netflix. We did go hard on some people in that one. Yeah. But if you do join Patreon or become a member on YouTube, you'll understand what we're talking about, because it's whacked out. It's crazy. That was nuts. But so that's out there. But until next time, guys, thanks for listening. We will see you next time.